Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening again, everyone. We're here in the classroom as we begin our look into world religions, religions of the world. And we're going to start by just kind of laying some background information, covering some material here. So you should have the first PowerPoint printed off. We're going to kind of go through and talk about it, fill in some of those blanks. So now, when we talk about world religions, a basic question to ask is, what is a religion? And in terms of world religions, that is a really broad question, which can be answered with three other questions. So we're answering the question, what is religion, with three questions. The first of those questions is, a religion is anything that answers the question, what is the ultimate reality? Again, what is the ultimate reality? Question number two, how should I live in this world? How should I live in this world? And then lastly, number three, what is my ultimate purpose? So the word ultimate there, we hear twice, right? What is the ultimate reality? How should I live in this world? And what is my ultimate purpose? So now, if we think about the word ultimate, a good way to understand and think about what the word ultimate means would be to kind of put this in the context of, say, for example, youth football. Whether or not you played football doesn't matter, but you're gonna understand this example in terms of ultimate, right? So, say for example, you start off playing football when you're little. You know, you play like pee-wee football, might have a different name, right? And say for example, your team wins your Pee-wee League, right? Now, there's something greater than that, right? That'd be going to middle school, right? So then you go and you play middle school football, and your middle school football team wins its division. Well, that's great, but there's still something beyond that, right? High school. So then you play high school football, and your football team wins that class state championship. Well, that's great, but there's still something beyond that, right? College, right? So then you play college football, and your college football team wins the national championship. But wait, we're still not done. There's still something better than that, right? The NFL, professional. Then you play professional, and then your team wins the Super Bowl. And there's nothing beyond that. So then that would be the ultimate. So then when we think about ultimate reality, right? It's that reality that there is nothing greater beyond. So when we think about that in terms of that question is, what is my ultimate purpose, right? You think about that. For example, I am a husband, a father, and a teacher. My purpose is primarily with those things, but I have a greater purpose than that, right? And it's what fits in the framework of religion, right? So those three questions: what is the ultimate reality? How should I live in the world? And what is my ultimate purpose? And as we start to go deeper into the course, what we'll see is that different peoples in different cultures, they answer these questions differently. And that's what gives us a religion. So the answer to the question, what is religion, is answered by three questions. So we get these question and answer. I know. That's why we have a lot of coffee here. So now, we want to pick up some terms to kind of think about things. And you should have a timeline there, right? And the timeline should be divided kind of roughly as such, not quite in the middle, the space over here. Now, what we're going to do is talk about time in a very easy to understand way. Please don't tell your history teacher that we're kind of looking at time in a very basic way. We're going to divide time into 3 different eras: pre-modern, modern, and global. So, there's the pre-modern to the far left. Then we have the modern. And then we have the global. Now, you can probably guess where we are now. That's right. This is where we are today. But life has not always been like it is now. You often hear this word global. Say, for example, global economy. That's the economy we have now. Global communications, right? You hear this word. Now, I was born and spent much of my life over here in the modern, and then we moved into the global. And this vertical line here is the break between modern and global. And it is an invention which ushered in the global age, and many people today cannot live without it. So if you could, I'll take a sip of coffee, see if you can think of what this vertical line could be. I think I heard someone say it. The internet. The internet changed life. It changed how people behave. It changed commerce. It changed education. Everything that you can think of, it was changed by the internet. And it was changed in such a degree that we have begun a new way of life. Now, before that, we were in the modern. This line here, in between the pre-modern and the modern, is the Renaissance. And you might have heard that, but might hopefully remember that from taking Western Civ, right? The word Renaissance means rebirth. And what was being reborn? It was the rediscovery of the knowledge from classical Greece and classical Rome that had been lost when the Roman Empire fell, right? If you remember that from history, yeah. The Roman Empire was really advanced. They were on the cusp. They were really close to experiencing industry and really moving forward. But then when the Roman Empire fell, right, which would be over here, I know you're thinking just that, hey, Mr. K, you're not even on the timeline. Exactly right. Be way over here. So then all that knowledge was lost, and then it had to be rediscovered. And it was rediscovered during the Crusades. Remember what the Crusades were? Good, yeah. That's when Christian armies, Christian countries, under direction of their leaders and the Pope, went into the Holy Lands to try to recapture the Holy Lands from the infidels. Today we don't call them infidels. Those are the Muslims, Islam, exactly. And it was this traveling back and forth that rediscovered this knowledge, as well as picked up new ideas and new knowledge as they were traveling. So this first lecture is about to time out, so we'll pick up here in the next one, so stay tuned.